LeBron, after you guys made the run with you on the floor and then you were off the floor and Ray hit the three from the corner, you were particularly animated on that. I know it was the spirit of the game, but were you also aware of the record that he was going for at that point?
Yeah, it was both. I was excited about the run that we were making and, knocking down a big shot, but at the same time I knew that he needed one more to break the record, and I was very excited for him.
LeBron, when you and Bosh had normal nights, Wade had an off night, how does it feel to have a guy like Ray coming off the bench who can pick it up if someone has an off night?
Well, it's big time, and that's part of the reason we went after him in the off season. We knew what he was capable of doing, not only in the regular season, but we know what how many big time games he's been in the postseason. When D Wade has an off night, to have someone behind him to back him up and pick him up offensively, it's a big boost for our team.
LeBron, we've seen this for most of the season from Norris, but what has made him such an effective on-ball defender over the course of the season and tonight against Jennings?
Norris is a hard-nosed defender, and he loves to take the challenge against some of the best point guards that we have in our league. And he continues to take the challenge, throughout the season and throughout the playoffs thus far. And his energy, his effort. He's getting smarter by the day, getting into the film room and actually seeing what he can do better to help our team, and it's paying dividends for our team on the floor.
How contagious is the play of a guy like Chris Anderson?
It's very. You don't want to be, someone out there that's, not playing to the level that you're capable of when he's out there, going full throttle every minute he's out there. And, he brings a lot of energy and effort points to our team, things that don't always show up in the box score, but we know how important he is to our success.
LeBron, Ray was just in here and he talked about how fast the regular season seemed to have gone by because you guys had so much fun this year. If you can think back to your first conversation with him when he agreed to sign with Miami, what was that like, and what was your reaction when you heard it from him?
Well, I was in Vegas. I had a basketball tournament, or a basketball camp that every year I have with the top 100 high school kids, and I got the news that we signed him. I called him right away, and the first thing I said, this is what we've been talking about for a while. I've always kind of tried to be in his ear saying, hey man, let's join at some point. Let's join. And he was like, well, the time is now. And I was very excited. I knew what he was able to do against me in the past, and I knew that threat could add another dimension to our team that we haven't had, in our first 2 years here in Miami. So I think the number one thing when I got an opportunity to talk to him, he seemed like he had a new start and a breath of fresh air, being part of our franchise. And, it's continued, ever since that conversation we had.
LeBron, this team is filled with guys who have won rings before, tons of playoff experience, and yet it seems like the thrill of the moment continues to stay with this team. What's the mindset and the outlook of you guys as you're in this journey together? Well,
we're not a content bunch. We want to continue to push the envelope and do the things that, or at least we're capable of doing. And, not take this moment for granted. Teams and personalities are hard to come by, in professional sports. And we have a special group. Does it guarantee you a championship? It doesn't. We understand that. But the opportunity that we have, we like to live in the moment. We really enjoy being around one another, and then we work hard for one another. And this results in having a lot of success to this point.
LeBron, Ray talked about how much fun he's having and how much fun the team's having. How much fun are you personally having out there on the basketball court night in and night out? Yeah,
that's part of my game, and that's part of my DNA. I'm at my best on the floor when I'm having fun, and I try to make that, try to be contagious to the rest of the guys. I love to play the game of basketball. I love to have fun on and off the floor, and I love what I do. So, I'm having a great time because this is what I love to do, to compete every night, to put on the Heat uniform and go out and just showcase our talent.
LeBron,
that's okay. LeBron, what did you and the other guys on the court do in those last 2 minutes of the third quarter to take it from a 2-point lead to a 10-point lead and really kind of, it appeared to break the Bucks at that point. What did you guys do on the court in those 2 minutes?
We got stops. First of all, defensively, we got stops. That's what we want to do. We want to continue to get stops. we didn't foul them. We started off the third quarter and we got 5 quick fouls, I think with like 9 minutes to go, and we started to just keep our hands away from them, try to keep the ball in front of us, keep our bodies in front of them, not foul, to put them on the free throw line. That allowed them to make their run. So we didn't foul late in the third quarter, and then offensively we executed. I was able to turn the corner, get an and-one on Dallenberg one time. I was able to turn the corner once again and find Berg for a layup. I think Cole was able to make a couple plays as well, and we was able to stretch that lead out, to a 10-point lead.
Could you tell that the game changed at that point? That maybe the tide had shifted favorably in you guys?
Well, the game was, for the most part, the game had been close. They had a 6-point lead or they had a 10-point lead early in the game. We made a small run at the beginning of the third, but they made another run. But once we broke it out to a 10-point lead, I felt the momentum. I felt that we could continue to ride that momentum, and that's why at the start of the fourth, we started the same team at the end of the third quarter, and then we was able to make another run.
LeBron, you talk about not being content. You guys have been here the past couple years with 3-0 leads in the first round of the postseason. Some of the guys in the room talked about this kind of being the next step to close out a series like that when you have the opportunity. Do you view it that way?
Yeah, I agree. This is our next step in our development. You said it. We had an opportunity, I think, in Philly our first year. We had New York. Just thinking, I don't know, a couple more teams maybe. But I remember Philly and New York for sure. And, we didn't close those series out. We took them on to a 5-5 game. But I think it's important for us to close them out because it's our next game. And that's what our team is about. Our team is always about, what our next game is, and it's game 4. And we want to win that game. And it's going to be different. It won't be the same as game 1, game 2, or today's game, game 3. It's going to be its own game, and we understand that. So, but if we come in with the same mindset or even more desperation as we did today, we give ourselves a good chance to win.